fruits, nuts, and seeds.
Chapatti, thank you for teaching us to be healthy.
The energy that I feel with these meals.
Chapatti, that was really yummy.
Like a kid with new toys. Health is my greatest joy. Come and see, come and be with our host Chapatti.
Hello, welcome. This is Food with Life. I'm your Chapatti, and we want to discuss a bit about yoga and about energy and things of this kind. So we have a very wonderful guest here. He is a very special teacher of yoga. He's been doing it for a long time. He is a teacher of the Art of Living Foundation breathing programs, and he is a very skilled nutritional cleansing consultant. His name is Steve Sperber. Welcome.
Thank you, Chapatti.
Pleasure to have you here.
Nice to be here.
You know, I'm wondering about what we had talked at one of our shows, prana. Prana and energy. It is a very key point in yoga, yes?
Yes. And so when the prana is high, when the life force is high within us, then depression fades away, it goes away. And the analogy I like to use is like when we go to the ocean to take a swim. We might be tired before that swim. But when we come out, we feel refreshed. It's like magic.
Isn't this connected somehow to the mind, to the mental state? It is a mental thing, or is it just emotional?
It's hard to draw a line. They're very intimately connected, mind and emotions. And what happens is that the effect on prana and health is that, again, it brings everything into balance.
Yes, because I notice when I'm in the making the breads, the bread ovens are there, and there's all this heat coming out, and there is no prana, you know, and it makes me sleepy. My mind is dull, and I think doing this so much, it has an effect on my health. Could the yoga and all this breathing and all this, can it make it better?
Absolutely. And now it's been known that when we have intense heat, we get sleepy. It takes the prana out of the system.
Yes, I do.
Now, we sometimes cannot control the environment. You're in there, it's baking, it's hot, so we can't change the environment, but we can change the inner environment. And we can do that through certain breathing processes. We kind of air condition the insides, so the outside effect isn't so intense.
So, indeed, in some way, how can the healing and breathing come together?
Just like the mind and body are connected very intimately, so is the level of breathing with a level of a mental and emotional. You know, if somebody, God forbid, sticks a gun in our back, we stop breathing, we go into fear. And when we laugh, there's a certain pattern to the breath. So what we want to do is that we want to bring the breath in so that it normalizes the breathing pattern, it brings us into balance, and it also smooths out the emotions.
So when it follows into balance, is it something that happens slow or quick, or what is the...
It's a very good question. You know, sometimes we'll have an intense emotional reaction. It's almost like a slap in the face. You know, sometimes someone gets angry at us and it's a shock. You know, that's sort of like a proverbial slap in the face. Sometimes the stress and strain can build over time, have a cumulative effect. You have a very long and arduous day. At the end of the day, you feel worn down, exhausted. Okay? So what we resort to in yoga is we have certain techniques that can do a quick turnaround, like it could be a slow, long, deep breath in and out, or it may require, depending upon the situation in the system, a little bit longer, you know, practicing of the yoga to take care of that.
How long does it take before this has an effect all the time, you know, so we don't have all these ups and downs in our emotion?
Right. Going back to the breath, as adults, we only use 30% of our lung capacity.
30%? That's small amount?
Very small compared to children. Children use about 100%. And yet 80% of the toxins go out through the breath. So what it does is we hold on to a lot of the toxins.
Yes.
So when you do a typical yoga class over an hour, you'll feel immediate benefit. And if you could do yoga for, let's say, 3 times a week, you'll feel relaxed, energized, really at peace.
Yes.
And then you go into your activity. You take some of those qualities into your activity.
We have to do a whole class. and I not always have that amount of time. You know, a class is what? How many hours a day?
Maybe about an hour to do a full yoga class. But if you don't have a full hour, 15 minutes is better than nothing.
I know many times people use a pill.
Yes, you know, oftentimes we go to a doctor, we take a pill to go to sleep at night, to give us energy, to help our digestion, and we want to push a button and be perfect. And unfortunately, that could do away with a symptom, but it doesn't get to the underlying causes, you know? So in yoga, we resort back to our source. And at our source, there's only energy, peace, and joy. So you might say it's the ultimate pill. Now, the word now.
Oh.
Very important. You say, can it take a long time? When we're involved in time, we're involved in our mind. Think about that. It's either we're going to the past or the future with our mind.
Yes.
When we're totally present, sometimes thoughts aren't there. That could have a very healing effect.
Now, it is something that I don't think about.
Because you can't think in the now.
I think about before, or I think about after, future.
Right.
But now, we can talk about that some more time. But I tell you, these yoga things, I want to practice it. You?
Yes, and I'll tell you one thing that summarizes it very well.
Yes.
When people ask me, do I practice yoga every day? I always ask them, do you practice stress every day?
Oh.
Now,
That's beyond my control, though, you know?
That's what I'm saying. Everybody has stress in their life.
Yes.
But what you can do with yoga, if you love yourself enough, you can practice something to help eliminate it.
Ah. Does it make the body stronger?
Yeah, some of the benefits is strength, endurance, flexibility, better circulation, more tolerance of people that you're impatient with,
Yes.
or situations or circumstances you can't control.
I want to practice. Can we do some?
Yes, let's do that.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
This is Food with Life. Welcome back to Food with Life. I'm your Chapatti, and we're here with our wonderful guest teacher of yoga, Mr. Steve Sperber.
Thank you. Welcome.
Very nice to have you. We're going to be doing some postures and he's going to share with us the wisdom and what is behind a very important system of exercise.
What we're going to do is start with what's called pranayama. Prana is the life force,
Yes.
and yama is housing the life force in this body. Okay? So we're going to use the nose. Okay?
I know about the nose.
So bring our right thumb to the right nostril.
Yes.
Place our two fingers on our forehead. And we're going to exhale through the left nostril.
Should we have the eyes open?
No, you can close your eyes.
Close the eyes.
And put your two fingers on your forehead. That's it. So exhale through the left nostril. Inhale through the left nostril. Close off the left. Open the right exhale. And then inhale. And just alternate as you
I
breathe.
use the fourth finger here.
Yeah, the ring finger. Exactly. So you're not holding your breath. You're just breathing deep, slowly in, and exhaling deeply. Feels good?
Yes. I'm beginning to love this.
You could relax. It's nice. Okay, and the main thing when you do the poses, and for those people at home, there's a difference between pain and tension. You may be in a pose, let's say I go into a pose like this, there might be some tension. That's normal. You breathe to the tension. And when you come out of the pose, the tension disappears. But if you go into this pose and there's pain, you slowly come out of it. You don't want to hurt yourself too.
No.
Okay, good. So what we're going to do now is we'll do another standing pose. This pose is known as called the awkward chair, because it's awkward to get into.
I have no chair.
You're going to have your own chair right now. So bend down like this and touch your knees.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I have a knee operation I
Okay,
had, and so it's a weak knee here.
Okay. So
Now
then
what
what you do is if you feel any tenderness there, you don't go as deep.
All right.
So just you bend a little bit. Sunil, do you have a knee problem?
No problem.
You can go a little lower like
Sure.
This is wrong with it. Comfortable.
comfortable. And stick your behind out.
I don't have one.
Now you lift your arms up over your head, all the way up. Straighten the elbows. Now dip the chin to your chest and start to breathe. Now we're going to go through a couple of emotions. This is very liberating. So first we're going to pretend to be angry. So you go, now pretend to cry. Now laugh. Straighten up, straighten all the way up, come all the way up. Put our arms down like this. Close our eyes, take a deep breath in and go. Do that one more time, Chapatti. And just observe what's happening inside. Notice any energy. Do you feel happy in there?
Very happy.
Again, I started to think about something in the past and something in the front was there, and then it went away.
Went away.
And it was in the very much in the moment.
You bring up a very good point. When you're 100% in your emotion, you're in the now. Like when you get angry, you can't get angry in the future or the past. You have to be angry in the present time. Same with laughing.
Yes.
You can't laugh in the future or the past, can you? You can only laugh in the present moment. Same thing with crying.
Yes.
So this was an exercise to get you 100% in your emotions while you're in a little uncomfortable position.
Right.
All your attention is on your body, your emotions, and your breath.
Yes.
So all problems vanish.
Yes, I do.
It's like magic.
This is Food with Life. Hello, I am your host Chapatti, and welcome to Food with Life. We're here once again with our wonderful guest, cook, expert on Prana diet nutrition. Is our wonderful Miss Elena.
It's a pleasure being here.
Very good to have you. We were talking about on this bit with yoga about, I know myself was dealing with some problems of depression and mood swings, and sometimes I know my mind is always going on, and I'm looking as if some type of food do you think that can quiet and settle down?
I think I have something for you. I have a stick of butter which you can buy at any store.
Oh, yes?
This is unsalted organic butter, and I place it in the, as you can see, in a stainless steel pot.
Oh, hot.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
a little hot.
Yes.
So, and I let it simmer at a very low heat, and after we have our ghee simmering there for about 45 minutes, so you would take a pound of butter to simmer it at the low heat for 45 minutes.
Organic.
Organic
butter.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely. So then we're going to take the pot and use a strainer, a fine strainer, to pour the butter through the strainer so we can separate the impurities and proteins from the oil. Let's kind of go there.
Very good.
So, and if necessary, you can also use a cheesecloth that will help you to strain a little finer.
All right. And then after a bit cools down,
Yeah, when it cools down, it changes color and it looks
like this.
chapatti like this. So
Good.
it's in the golden color,
Golden.
very aromatic, and extremely beneficial for children and adults alike to calm the busy mind.
Kind of, and you put it on a bread or a.
So if you've been working all day, you could use some.
This ghee is very balancing, medicinal. It very good for healing, and I recommend for everyone to try. It's something new maybe for some people, but it is excellent to give it a try and see what you feel about it. So back with our dish, back of the stew we're going to make now. This is Food with Life. Hello, and welcome back to Food with Life. We're here with a very special cook here, Miss Elena, who's very good gift to show us a lot of wisdom and knowledge about foods and prana. Tell me, you have something good to show us, something more, one dish, yes?
Yes, we have a very special soup that I would like to show you.
Yes.
That's energy-rich soup.
Energy dish, all right.
Yes, full of energy,
All right.
and these are the ingredients that we're going to use. They're pretty simple to use, and you can see there is a winter squash that's
Winter
called a
squash.
butternut squash.
Oh,
which
it's
is
orange, I see.
orange, yes, and the orange signifies the high energy in vegetables.
Oh,
And
good.
also, I have brought some organic tofu which
Tofu,
is
yeah.
rich in calcium and protein. It's a lightly digested protein
Yes.
that we'll be using in combination with the squash today.
Mm-hmm.
And a few spices. And the spices enhance the digestion of the food that we eat and also bring some very special benefit to the food. For instance, we have a turmeric, that yellow color powder.
Turmeric?
Yeah, turmeric.
Yes.
So if you're practicing yoga, it's something that you wanted to use because it helps to lubricate your joints, and it also good for your digestive system and your skin.
I know in Ayurveda, turmeric they say is the best healing of all the herbs.
Absolutely.
Very good medicinal effect on the body.
Yes.
But what more do we have here?
And we also have a bay leaves.
Oh.
There's a nice flavor to it, and you know the
Alright.
wise people always
Alright.
wear those bay leaves around their head.
Yes, yes.
So it enhances your wisdom and intelligence.
I could use that very much.
And one of the other spices that we use is a coriander. And
Mhm.
I want to show some unique process that we're using here, which is roasting up the coriander seeds at
Yes.
the low heat
Yes.
on our stainless steel frying pan. There's no oil on it. It's
Yes.
just a dry frying pan.
Yes.
And as this seeds getting warmer, you can smell there is a light aroma that's start to fill up the room.
Yes, yes.
And I'm going to just place those seeds into the container, and I have already placed some of them in here. And as you can see, I will grind them. I use just a regular coffee grinder that helps us to process those seeds.
Good, good.
And you can also smell how much more fragrant the spice is,
Loaded.
and a lot more than the ones that we can buy in a container that are already processed. And that would add the flavor, and coriander in particular help the digestibility of
Yes,
the
yes.
proteins in our system, and as well as stimulate the whole elimination process.
So how much of this
So-
do we use? The turmeric, the bay leaf, and the...
Yeah, so I'm
Coriander.
going to use, there will be one medium squash, this is
Yes.
about this size.
Yes.
I'll cut that in about this size pieces.
Yes.
So just use a nice sharp knife because it tends to get a little bit of toughness in here.
Yes.
And I chop up some onions.
Yes.
So, and we're going to start by just placing the onions and the spices into the ghee. The ghee is one of the clarified butter that
Yes.
you can find in the shelves of any supermarket.
Yes.
And also in the Oriental, it's called the ghee,
Ghee right here.
which is
yes.
the purified butter.
Yes, good.
And so we just roast the spices with a little bit of onion and the ginger in the ghee.
But for the turmeric, how much? A
Oh,
tablespoon?
you put just no. If you put too much, it will become bitter. So it's slightly bitter. So you don't want to use too much. You just want to use 1 teaspoon, like
Teaspoon.
that. A teaspoon
Alright.
of each spice, and that way it's easy to remember. It's not too overpowering. And if some of you would like to have a little more, maybe perhaps bitterness or a
Yeah.
little more coriander in there, they can adjust the spice and add a little more. Well, and there's one more spice that I brought with me.
Yes.
That's called the hing.
Yes.
Something that you do buy at the Indian store, if that's available,
Yes.
and usually is.
Right.
And another name for it's called asafoetida.
Asafoetida.
Asafoetida. And that has a same antibacterial properties, just like garlic.
Got
It
it.
helps to fight infection and viruses in the body.
Cleansing.
Cleansing,
Yes.
and it's even more potent than the garlic, they
All
say.
right, good.
So we're going to place those spices in the pot
Yes.
along with some vegetables.
Right.
And then after that, I'll just fill up the water.
Yes.
The amount of water is just to cover up the vegetables.
Vegetables, okay.
And to enhance the flavor, if you desire so, you can always add a few more of cubes of vegetable broth
Okay.
to that. And you let it cook until the veggies are soft.
So what is it, about 20 minutes?
Yeah, it will take no
15
more than 15 to
20
20 minutes.
minutes,
You
alright.
want to check, you don't want to overcook your
Okay.
veggies. And we place them in the blender. So I'll just scoop that
When
out.
it's finished here, yeah.
I
in
just
the
place
blender.
them in the blender, and
Alright.
I add the tofu. So if you like to help me a little bit,
Yes, yes. You want
buddy,
the-
and you can add 1 pieces of tofu.
How much of a
to,
piece do you want?
Just the half of that amount.
1/2 of...
Oh, no. Just the whole thing.
whole cake?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just pour it in?
Just put it in.
It's better to break it in half and then.
Yeah, it's a soft kind of tofu,
it'll
so
go
it's
down.
not a firm. It usually comes in different consistencies, so we're using
Right.
the
Yes.
soft type of tofu. We place it on the blender and we
Okay.
just process it. So when it comes out of protein, you get a full, complete meal
Right.
with the protein and vegetables
Right, turn
and
it around.
carbohydrates in there.
All right.
And
good.
once it's nice and creamy,
Yeah.
you can either do half like I did and leave a little bit of texture in the
Yes.
pot, or you can process the whole soup.
All
And
right.
then you place it back in if you want to warm it up a
Yeah.
little more. So
Oh.
it's a nice and creamy
Ooh.
without any dairy
Very
um,
nice.
and low fat.
We should have,
Very nutritious.
We should have a flavor, yes?
Yes, absolutely. And if you can see, it's very creamy
Yes.
and soft texture. Children
thank
really
you
enjoy
very
this soup,
Oh, yes.
or children of all ages.
All right. We're children, we're big children.
Yes.
All right, you have a flavor? All right. it
So
is a
let's.
flavor.
Mmm.
Mm.
Mmm.
Well, I'm staying for dinner. It's excellent. You try this at home, I think you'll enjoy it. It'll give you many, many health benefits. And for you, I'll say thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. We'll see you again. I'm your Chapatti. Thanks for watching Food with Life. Have a wonderful day and a very wonderful evening.